So in the past few days, TikTok has been absolutely divided because of the opinions from this one video. Slaves suffered more than Jesus did on the cross. So as a Christian, specifically a black Christian, how does that video make you feel? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? Do you get angry? Do you contemplate and think about it? Now, before we dive into it, I want to say this here. If you are a Christian, I don't mean to offend you by anything in this video. You just got to understand that as a young black man living in America and learning my history, slavery was, our ancestors survived a genocide. So I get passionate when I talk about it, and Christianity was a big part on why, you feel me, we was in that shit. So I want to say this right here, man. If you want to click off this video now, I absolutely agree. It's still all love. Now that I have this disclaimer, let me get into it. For one, a lot of people will say, well, why are you comparing the two? I think it's actually great that we are comparing the two because it brings out the hypocrisy, right? What Jesus went through and what the slaves went through are both horrible things. But with Jesus, I feel like it's debatable, right? Some people say he's not a real person. Some people say he is a real person, yada, yada. You know, it's so much conflicted ideology around it. But slavery, on the other hand, we know that shit happened. So it's like you got black people over here worshiping a man that died for their sins, but you turn around, we have literal ancestors that we are literally connected with that we demonize. Like I told this story before, but my mom's dad, right? He was born in 1890 in Georgia. 1890. So that means that his parents, or most definitely his grandparents, were in slavery. I am connected to slavery. Like, that's what, 2-3 generations? That is crazy to me. And that is for a lot of people watching my videos. Like, we are so close to this shit. So when I hear about the stories of what these slaves went through, I'm like, damn, that's my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that shit. But they'll...
And that's another crazy thing, bro. I feel like slavery is so watered down, bro. Because when you really read into the things that were actually happening, the things they taught us in school is the watered down version, bro. Watered down version. You know that you literally used to skin some people and wear them. Like, what? Sometimes I hear about this shit, I'm like, bro, there's no way this is real. And I don't mean to laugh, but there's no way this is real. That's how serious slavery was. And I feel like it's so watered down. That's why I think a lot of people be downplaying slavery. I think slavery is a very serious thing, man. It's crazy.
Say that we shouldn't worship our, you know, black ancestors because it's devilish or it'll get you sent to hell. But these white folks, they worship their people. They name streets after them. They put their people onto coins, onto dollar bills. They absolutely worship their ancestors. But black people, we scared to do that, and they literally died and fought for the freedoms that we have today. Even the same way, like, they'll demonize African religions, you know, voodoo, hoodoo, but turn around and worship these Greek gods. You know, we all know who Zeus is. We all know this and that. But when it comes to our own religions, it's bad. Even the way they treat black magic. Like, it's everything that's black is a negative connotation. And I don't see how nobody realizes this, bro. Now, we're going to check out some videos of people disagreeing with me, and I'm going to try to check them as much as I can, right? So, yeah.
They nailed my mans to a cross with nails. They put a thorned crown on my man's head. They made him carry a 300-pound cross. A 300-pound cross. Not for a mile, not for 2. They made my man's walk.
300-mile cross while they whooping your ass. Whew. Nah, that's bad. I ain't gonna lie. That's bad, bro. Whew, Lord have mercy. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all would have just had to kill me right there. Y'all would have just had to end me right there. Oh my goodness. 300-pound cross. Mind you, you just got done getting whooped. Like, whooped for hours. And then they make you carry the cross up the hills and stuff. Oh no, y'all gotta end me. I'm not gonna lie.
Whipped him while he's carrying the cross. Whipped him while he had...
Bro, I'm not trying to sound inconsiderate to Christians, but didn't Jesus or whatever get crucified for 3 days? My ancestors would endure this shit for their entire life. The average lifespan was what, like 40 years of a slave? So 40 years, whatever. It might have been longer. Pretty sure it was longer, right? 40, 50, 60 years plus other things, right? Did y'all know most slaves only got like 3 to 4 hours of sleep? I mean, they were living on hell on fucking earth. And it's documented. We have literal proof of this. But this just shows you how truly brainwashed a lot of our brothers are. And I'm not mad at him, man. It's just sad that he don't know his history.
Hey, while his head is bleeding from the crown cross, from the crown thorn. And you gonna sit up here, you gonna tell me, oh no, slaves had it worse, oh no, slaves had it worse. What?
Yes, nigga, what the
I think a lot of people, when it comes to this argument, this whole debate, they're comparing something that happened for like 3 days to something that's happened for somebody's whole life. And that's what Antonio brought up. you can't compare the two because one, yes, Jesus suffered. Oh yeah, for sure. Nobody's saying he did it. He suffered for sure. But that suffrage was 3 days. Now imagine, for 30 years of your life, you wake up every day, you picking cotton every day. You getting whooped every day. To the point where you got marks and all type of stuff. On top of that, some of them was getting, you know, there was, you feel me? I can't say that word because of YouTube, but they was getting hard. You feel me? They were getting hard. For the rest of your life, imagine that. You can't really, it's hard to compare. You feel me? And I think that's where a lot of people aren't looking. Yes, Jesus went through a lot. We are not, bro. Nobody's denying that. But one was for a whole person's life, and one was like 3 days, bro.
Why are we even comparing? But even if we were to compare, the slaves didn't. No one on this earth has suffered more than Jesus. No one has. I don't care what you went through.
Did y'all know in the Jamaican plantations, there were sugar fields, so they was mining, you know, sugar and stuff. A punishment for the slaves, and this is documented, I'm going to put a picture up on the screen.
Oh my God.
A punishment for some of those slaves were getting put into boiling sugar. The factories were actually non-stop. Like, you had to work 24-hour shifts until you basically died, right? And it's just like, man, my people were...
What?
Another
See, I didn't
thing,
even know this.
So there was this doctor who was labeled as the father of gynecology. He had discovered all this groundbreaking information about the woman's body, and he did this off of the backs of black women. Experimented on different black slaves. I mean, cutting on them without anesthesia, digging inside of them. Do you guys know the horrors that these women went through? I mean...
I'm worried that this video will get me banned. You will never hear this name in schools. Not because it's a secret, but because it is too horrific to teach. Thomas Thistlewood wasn't a king or a general. He was a British slave owner in Jamaica in the 18th century. And for 37 years, he wrote everything down. Every rape, every torture, every mutilation in detail. His diary is one of the most disturbing documents in British history. Thistlewood started as an overseer, a middleman of brutality. He later bought his own land, enslaved dozens of people, and never returned to England.
And you know what's so crazy? When you start looking at these people who are slave owners, you start realizing these people were really sick. Like, you gotta be sick in the head to be doing some of these things. And we don't talk about that. I think a lot of these people are very sick.
But what makes Thistlewood different isn't what he did. It's that he wrote it all down. In his diary,
and just imagine the things that weren't written down, bro. Like, man, my people went through fucking
Thistlewood recorded 3,800 instances of rape. And it wasn't hidden. It wasn't ashamed. It was documented. On January 26, 1752, he wrote, "Gave Pibea a good cut whipped. Then gave her a good dose of salts." Pibea was an enslaved concubine. She had no way to refuse. Their so-called relationship is cited by some historians, but it is rape over decades. And then there were the punishments. On May 26, 1756, he wrote, "Darby catched eating canes, had him well flogged and pickled, then made Hector shit in his mouth." He called it...
My goodness, bro. man, y'all don't. This is what I mean, bro. Just learning shit like this it makes you be like, damn, we went through all this shit with no type of forgiveness. The man said he whipped him, flogged him, then made another slave. Bro, that is fucking sadistic, bro. And y'all wonder why we wasn't surprised about these Epstein files, nigga. Everything they was doing on the islands, they did to our people. What the fuck?
They're sick.
Darby's dose. And afterwards, he had the man gagged for hours. This wasn't instances of rage. This was just policy. He had salt rubbed into people's wounds. He had ears nailed to post. And he burnt people.
Ears nailed to post. But what we just seen about the dude talking about the man, bro, like, it's no debate, bro, at all, bro. I'm sorry to keep pausing, but man, I'm gonna just let the shit play out, cause
Nah, you good. I'm disgusted.
And all of this was to maintain control over people harvesting sugar for British profits. Thistlewood was never punished. He was never shamed. He was considered successful. He died in 1786, wealthy, respected, and positively spoken about by other plantation owners. But historians like Vincent Brown and Trevor Bernard warn us. What Thistlewood did, the system allowed and encouraged and required. And the horror really isn't that he existed, it's that he thrived.
Another history lesson. You see that hole, that tiny hole up there? They used to drop down food while there was 1,000 men in this room and have them fight to the death for just a little bit of food because they would starve them.
I think that's in Ghana. That might be. If y'all don't know, I'm Ghanaian, so a lot of this stuff, there's some historical artifacts in Ghana having to do with slavery, man. And that, when you see that, bro, you gon', man, what? You gonna be like, damn, this shit is crazy.
For days.
Y'all do some research, man. It's a lot of
making these men turn against each other and just become savages. And here is where...
Just thinking about it, y'all. That is how they already... They seen that, bro. Put these people against each other. Yeah. Already. Little small tactics like that. Dropping down food when everybody's starving. You know it's going to be chaos. Bro. The same way... That's the same way I look at these hoods, bro. Everybody wants some money. Everybody trying to eat. Drop drugs in there.
Yeah.
A couple of them gonna take it trying to make some money and better themselves. Obviously, they're just trying. You know what I'm saying? That's human nature. Yeah. Fuck up everybody else. Kill some in a way. Like, bro, this division shit has always been playing, putting us against each other. The light, the dark, the old, the young, woman versus man.
Always been like that.
Now we see it now with the damn diaspora wars and shit, bro. Like, these folks is so smart and strategic with what they do, man. I'll just be telling y'all to pay attention, dog. Truly pay attention.
A rebellious female would be held. So she would be attached to that ball by chain all day with no food, no water, under the sun, rain, it didn't matter. She would be there until she was weak. The governor would come on this balcony and look down at her once she was weak and ask somebody to bring her up so he could SA her from this balcony. This was thousands of women. And like, as you could see, can you imagine being chained here naked all day and all these men are just walking around able to do whatever they want to you? When a female would get pregnant, they would keep them in the dungeon until they had the kid, and then they would take the kid up and they would raise the kid a little better because the kid would be lighter. They would teach them how to read, but you still weren't free. You still were under them. You weren't in the dungeon, basically. So this is kind of where the whole light-skin privilege originated, and that's how it came all the way to where we are today, and we still have this issue. This is the actual female dungeon. This is where they ate, slept, used the bathroom, had periods, gave birth, all of that in here.
And like the number one thing when I look at this and I'll be like, bro, imagine the smell, bro. The smell alone is enough to kill somebody. Even just packing a lot of people in a small enclosed space. They're pooping in there, they're peeing in there, throwing up, sweating, all that. And you gotta breathe all that in, bro.
As many women in here as the men's side were, but there were a lot of women that had to come through here. And they were just basically like playthings for the governors until they were ready to be shipped out. Now this leads to the door of no return. And that sounds so crazy and scary, but it's true.
Look how dark it is.
Once you went down that hallway, you were getting on a ship and being sold off to whatever country you ended up at. And they have a little memorial here for them.
Listen, bro, I can show y'all so much things about slavery, and I could tell y'all a lot of these things, but I think it's best that y'all do y'all own research. Just look into it, bro. Look into, type in, you could go on TikTok, YouTube, and you will learn all type of crazy shit. But I want to end it off right here because this will show you just proof, right? Because they say that we're lying when we bring up things like, oh yeah, we were 8. They used our hair as this. They used our skin as this. This stuff is true. Let's look at this video. This is a chair that was passed down in her family. And I want you to pay attention to the hair. Man, listen, look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit.
So I decided to take this chair apart and redo it. Well, I knew it was old, but I didn't know how old it was until I got in realized it had been put together with twine, burlap, and this. But then I noticed this black stuff that was...
Y'all see that hair? That's coarse, kinky hair. That's our hair. And it was inside of the chair.
Wow.
So when we say these things, it may sound crazy. Yeah, it sounds crazy. But nigga, we done went through some fucking...
Just as padding. Can we please...
Look at that. That is nigga hair.
It's human hair. Human hair and cotton.
But that's it for this video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed.
That's crazy, dog. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Jesus went through worse than the slaves, bro? Y'all let me know in the comments. This is a very interesting debate. And I love to hear what y'all think. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye.